We are anonymous. No faces, no flags, no permission slips. Donald Trump wanted America to see a fearless leader. Instead, the nation is witnessing a man who appears exhausted, confused, and increasingly unable to hide it. The truth is catching up to him. And today we ask a question that the corporate media seems increasingly afraid to ask. What happens when the man who spent years mocking Sleepy Joe becomes the one struggling to stay awake on the world stage? He called himself a winner, a fighter, a dealmaker unlike any other. He mocked opponents as weak, frail, confused, and unfit for office. Every stumble, every verbal slip, every moment of exhaustion from his political rivals became ammunition for the Trump machine. But now the cameras are pointed in a different direction. And what they are capturing is becoming harder and harder to ignore. In recent weeks, critics, journalists, and even political opponents have raised questions about Trump's public appearances after several highly publicized incidents in which he appeared to close his eyes, lose focus, or struggle to remain alert during official events. Multiple news outlets have documented moments that NR-com's section fueled speculation about his health and stamina, while the White House continues to insist that everything is perfectly normal. Perfectly normal. That's the phrase they want you to accept. A president disappears from public view for days. A president reappears looking noticeably different. A president sits behind the resolute desk while supporters and cabinet members conduct business around him. And when viewers notice what appears to be another moment of dozing off his tasks, they're told not to believe their own eyes. Anonymous has seen this playbook before, and the obvious question is simple. Why does a man who spent years branding his opponent as Sleepy Joe now seem unable to escape the same accusations himself? The irony is almost too perfect. Trump spent years telling America that energy was leadership, that stamina was leadership, that simply looking strong was leadership. Yet now every new clip creates another uncomfortable headline. Every public appearance invites another round of speculation. Every denial creates even more attention. And perhaps the most remarkable part isn't the footage itself. It's the reaction. Or rather the lack of reaction. At a time when millions of Americans struggle with rising costs, healthcare concerns, housing affordability, and economic uncertainty, Trump continues to speak as though history revolves around him. Every accomplishment becomes his accomplishment. Every institution becomes a stage. Every monument becomes a potential tribute. Every conversation somehow circles back to Donald Trump. And perhaps nowhere is this more visible than in the increasingly surreal discussions surrounding proposals to place his image on new currency, rename public projects after him, or transform national landmarks into monuments to his personal legacy. A normal president might laugh off such suggestions. Trump treats them like serious possibilities, because Trump's greatest political talent has never been governance. It has always been branding. Trump doesn't simply want power. He wants admiration. He wants validation. He wants history to become a mirror. And when that mirror reflects criticism instead of praise, he lashes out. We've watched this pattern repeat for nearly a decade. Meanwhile, Trump's defenders continue performing increasingly complicated acts of political gymnastics. One day, they tell America Trump barely sleeps because he works so hard. The next day, they insist the videos showing him with his eyes closed aren't actually showing him asleep. The day after that, they argue the entire discussion is unfair. The explanations change. The contradictions grow. The story becomes more confusing, but the objective remains the same. Protect the image. Always protect the image, because Trumpism has never been merely a political movement. It is an image management operation, a permanent public relations campaign, designed to maintain the illusion of invincibility. Yet, invincibility is difficult to maintain when the evidence keeps accumulating. Questions about swollen hands, questions about bruising, questions about stamina, questions about cognition, questions about transparency, questions that would be directed at any president, questions that should be directed at every president. This isn't about party. This isn't about ideology. This isn't even about Donald Trump personally. This is about accountability. The office of the President of the United States is not a reality television show. It is not a branding exercise. It is not a personal monument project. It is one of the most powerful positions on earth. And the public deserves answers whenever legitimate concerns arise regarding the health, judgment, or fitness of anyone occupying that office. Yet instead of transparency, Americans are given spectacle. Instead of clarity, they receive slogans. Instead of answers, they receive distractions. And while supporters cheer, the deeper problems remain unresolved. The national debt grows. Public trust erodes. Political division intensifies. Institutions weaken. And still, the conversation somehow returns to Trump's latest grievance, Trump's latest branding idea, Trump's latest performance. It is exhausting. Perhaps that is the point. Because exhausted citizens stop asking questions. Exhausted citizens stop paying attention. Exhausted citizens accept absurdity as normal. Anonymous rejects that. We reject the normalization of political theater replacing accountability. We reject the idea that leaders should be treated like celebrities. We reject the notion that criticism becomes invalid simply because it makes powerful people uncomfortable. Whether Trump is truly exhausted, struggling with age, dealing with health issues, or simply suffering from terrible optics is ultimately a question that deserves honest answers. Not spin, not slogan, not propaganda. Honest answers. Because democracies cannot function on image alone. Sooner or later, reality always wins. And reality has a way of exposing even the most carefully constructed myths. Donald Trump spent years weaponizing perceptions of weakness against others. Today, he finds himself confronting those same perceptions. The difference is that this time he cannot simply rename the problem. He cannot brand it away. He cannot tweet it away. He cannot flatter it away. The cameras keep rolling. The questions keep coming. And the American people keep watching. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.